Shirley here with Sirius Talis Moon. Venus in Gemini. Moon. Moon is almost full. And Venus in Gemini. What I love about Venus being in Gemini, the air element. Venus in an air element is fresh. It's bubbly, it's sociable, it's talkative. There is something about Gemini that, how should I say that? I don't know, just enjoys conversing with people over nothing. It is fresh and indecisive. I think before I was buying avocado oil today, I was probably 2 or 3 times at the store looking and getting out. um, now Venus, Gemini is also a sign of tree, so there is this pleasure of consumption. Like it's a very consumerist type of transit. Um, there is a grand willingness to, you know, to not stay put, to enjoy, not really seize the day. It's not like a Martian carpets diem or something, but it's more like a very bubbly, fresh, and not. It's not surface level. It's kind of like it's a getaway type of Venus um, that I found quite amazing, quite a lovely atmosphere. Um, Now we're heading towards this full moon in Scorpio, which is of course kind of like the this Scorpio undertone. Um, Midheaven 29 degrees, Taurus ascendant just crossed Regulus. Mercury in the 8th house applying to conjoin Chiron. Um, there's something about Gemini that Venus in Gemini that allows us to see sort of both opposites of an argument or a conflict, and being able to see how something that we experience, for example, an experience that we experience with others, could also be something that an experience that we would be given off. Um, I'm not saying it bridges things because it's not so much about bridging things to others, more as, particularly with Mercury in the sign of the self, more as looking at the other perspective, or looking at, it's kind of like trying to see if we're experiencing a difficulty, trying to see how, oh, what we're experiencing there is something to do with something that we also have and we also give off in a different way. So, and just noticing that kind of regulates the nervous system about it. Um, there is also a real, with Gemini, kind of like not wanting to dwell on the deep things, but taking a break from striking, or taking a break from rebelling. There's something very weird about this, but actually a positive change, or a little bit of a break from the heavyweight topics of Uranus in Taurus, for example. Um, and also it's because things are happening. If I take a look at, I don't know, corporations being burned down, and it's kind of like there are things happening in the world. And it's also kind of like we went through the deep and the stagnant and the turning the soil that right now is actually kind of a refreshing change to be elsewhere. Um, it's like even if it's deeply troublesome, then there's a fleeting sense of, I don't know, with this Venus day is kind of like, well, at least let's do something. Let's make a body butter. Let's do something creative um, that changes the atmosphere. Um, Gemini is a lot about being creative without expectations, and this is where a lot of opportunities, even trade opportunities, can come up. The non-attachment in Gemini can be impressive. So the fact that it's coming after, like since 2018 Uranus in Taurus and Neptune in Pisces. The escapism of Pisces is in square relations to Gemini because Pisces escapism could look like manic, where Gemini is just bubbly. It's just like going to buy something just to have that small talk with the vendor. Not because not even like, oh, we're terribly lonely and no. We're just terribly social. Um, the likeness after like a heavy episode of dwelling on the deep things. And then there's another thing in the air where, I was getting an energy of kind of think about, I'm going through my Uranus opposition, and I want think about a person going through their, let's say, Uranus return. It's kind of like a person in their 80s suddenly decide to buy canvases, and everybody thinks they're opening a business, and they're like, no, they just need to do something for themselves. Yeah, if I think about, I bought this 3 packs of beeswax so that I can be able to make candles whenever I want to. Kind of like a Gemini. That's such a Uranus Gemini, and or 10 cans of something that could be used for candles or for body butter. And I'm like, and it doesn't oils, and I'm like, it looks like I'm opening a business, and I'm like, no, I just wanted to do things. I just wanted to do things for myself. Um, Not dealing with this whole protection, responsibility, bureaucracy. It's kind of like, hey, I was going to die for a decade or four. Not a sub story. Literally, I think everyone is. Ask any millennial that's hitting their Uranus opposition, and they'll probably tell you, "Me too." So the energy was kind of like, think about, I don't know, a person in their 80s suddenly doing all these things to just feel alive, and people are like beginning to be worried about competition, trying to lead to have the one up on them, and they're like, dude, I'm not even on the market. um, so I don't know where is that coming from even. Um, Like really, I have no idea. I mean, the Aries stellium, Aries competes only with itself, so it's not like something that could be coming from Aries. But there was this spirit of, it's like there was a spirit of competition that wasn't even connected to reality. Um, and another thing where could be where somebody could be so worried about competition that they try to oppress kind of like a retired old man or somebody having the energies of a retired or old person, and then that person was like, that drive was kind of like, oh, that's, you know what, that's interesting, that's, let's do something. I mean, I wasn't even thinking, and it's not about competing with anyone. It's kind of, if there is, let's say somebody is running for being an athletic person and they try to oppress a person from, and then a person's kind of like um, looking at the, a sports or a Pilates outfit and kind of like, maybe I should buy a Pilates outfit. I really don't know where it's stemming from. The moon was squaring Pluto, but I really don't know. I don't know what would be that type of like competitive spirit with the air. um, yeah. So um, so this is. It can even have to do with the bubbliness of Venus in Gemini, where think about Venus in Gemini could be just bubbly, going out there, having conversations, and like not really even thinking to date anyone. And people are like, "You'll never be her. You need to change your this. You need to change your that." Kind of like, the fuck? Who is her? What are all these jargons? Remember when they had the pick me girl type of thing? And I was like, what is that? Feeling like a millennial feeling like an old fart running into social media, and they're like, having to put their binoculars on and kind of like, what is no cap? And people are like, why is everyone competing? Aren't we going to like um, collapse of civilization or something? I was just thinking to get a cafe before the doom, and and people are like competitive. So, and as an astrologer, I don't even know to delineate that. like, is it Moon squaring Pluto or? But Mars in Aries competes only with itself, and yeah, um, there's nothing particularly fiercely competitive in the sky. Am I wrong? Um, maybe this moon, the Mercury Chiron. I don't know, or like there's nothing really competitive in the sky. I don't know where it came from. I don't think it's a Virgo because Virgo seems like the archetype that competes, not competes with itself, but kind of like too busy judging itself for not doing enough when it exceeded everyone. So, um, what's more? And here's what I ponder about because I want to do something like a body butter. I have all the ingredients and I want to pick some flowers, and it's sunny. It's nothing astrological. Um, I just need to burn some things and make them into some things that smells good. I really love the oil that I made. And it was the simplest thing ever. I just bought a pack of oils that are to do with like antifungal, nourishment, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like a couple of drops from every oil, not really thinking much, and it came out so good. Um, by the way, Angelica oil is missing. Now, here is something funny that I found about the story regarding Angelica is that it was about a woman whose husband left her, not left her, but he was saying that he had to leave, like, I don't know whether it was for war or whatnot. And he said for her to wait for 3 years. She waited 3 years, he didn't arrive, so she like remarried and fell in love with another man. Then he comes back and she feels devastated and wants to kill herself. And then she takes that root or takes that plant, thinking she's going to unalive herself with it. But that actually brought her back to life. And I'm like, that's so relatable. I gotta have Angelica. Then Angelica oil is missing. And um, yeah. And I was saying there was, and the Angelica containing like tinctures and stuff. There's this thing that was actually containing a main plant of the a person that was black haired because it's I love these Chinese stories about herbs because it was a man that had this gray hair and then he was just drinking something from his garden and began to have this black hair again and feeling strong. And I'm like, well, round maturation is kind of like Saturn related, which is teeth, hair, and so on. I wasn't thinking about the hair, but maybe I should get me that tincture. Not, we're not supposed to use those things on that basis. I mean, with essential oils, I am an aromatherapist and blah blah blah, but I'm not a naturopath. so, um, so it was kind of the accidental discoveries, herbs that are showing up, perhaps with Uranus Gemini. And at least I understood what do I have with Angelica because the story, and this is where Gemini is the storyteller, and so the story is has this resonance. I was like, I gotta get Angelica. I was missing the scent of Angelica. It's a very distinct scent. It's not like a pleasant light scent. It's it's a scent that shakes up the nervous system from everything. And I got valerian, which is amazing. Again, I'm saying that don't just buy these herbs because I could be because I'm so excited. It sounds like I'm marketing something, but I'm like, no, I'm actually don't use that if you don't know how to use that, which is important because that's potent stuff. It's not just scent um, or cistus, which is incredibly. I used to think that cistus is incredibly strong, and then my aromatherapist teacher said, "Shirley, stop thinking that cistus is incredibly strong." Um, and only recently did I get that. Although its dominant scent is actually used to shake people up, even when they have like chronic trauma. Um, which we all can say, like nobody can say today they have like a post trauma. It's I was the valerian scent, and there is carrot seed oil, which is this dominant deep scent um, that I really love. with his combinations of stuff. Um, now, and then I was missing Angelica. Then it was Saturn hour and I wanted to buy Moldavite. Desednice. It was not feasible. I was like, Sheila, and then I was craving healthy food. Um, Rest in peace, goat Gouda. Um, yeah, I was craving healthy food. Love, I love the combination of avocado oil, which is known to have like a CoQ10, but I don't know how much. Um, with my essential oils, again, it's gonna upjump people that studied the English method. In the English method, there was this story about a person who was prescribed a drop of essential oil with carrier oil, and he took a spoonful of essential oil. Because it was a very sick person, he died. Why am I saying because it was a very sick person? Gen Zers, don't try this at home. It will get you into the hands of the people that cause the reason you want to use that to unalive yourselves. Okay? So, um, whoa. I love the taste of avocado oil. It's deep and rich and tasty and nourishing. It's deeply nourishing. Um, yeah, and I found myself just craving that oil. To begin with, it was because oblipicha oil. I don't know how to call that in English. It's oblipicha, okay? It's the weird Slavic Russian name. Was missing, and it was missing from like everywhere, from like the Russian store, from like the Russian slash Ukrainian. The refugees from both sides were, and I was like, it was so missing that the oil that they had in the store was enriched with oblipicha. And I'm like, I'm not looking for enriched with oblipicha. I enrich it with oblipicha. I'm the person that blends the oils here. I forgot to renew my rose um, hydrosol, which I really love. Dr. Harushka rose hydrosol that has some other cool stuff in it. For the face, it's kind of like a clarifying toner or whatnot. It's just excellent. Um, I was refreshing with it, and I really love that refreshing touch of the rose hydrosol. Um, which really reminds me also that when we talk about like aromatherapy or naturopathy, I was looking at back remedies, but the approach of where it came from was like this: the person needs to change themselves to, and I'm like, that's more complicated than that. So I'm looking for a different approach to Bach flowers, but it's also the playfulness and the joy of surrounding ourselves with nature, creating stuff. It was also my opinion when I was studying aromatherapy, and my teacher looked at me like weird. Then I discover like astrological magic, and then I say to myself, I'll never do that. It's too complicated. And then I find myself doing that. Um, there was a guy that was having like that was fighting off big corporations, even in real estate for like 20 years ago. And then he recently opened like a financial. The minute I saw a financial party, I was like, okay, those liberals again wanting to take our money after they took our children. But it ain't like the social. I mean, the true dossiers was with public housing. So, but then I was like, you know, these nice two men called me and tried to talk to me, and I was like, okay, how does he deal with with ritual abuse and psychic attacks? Because that person actually did something. He had people. He had to have security because people were putting were trying to put a bomb underneath his car. He dealt with the protection in real estate 20 years ago, and I remember that time because that's where we and my mom were living in rent from the interest. And it was still cheaper to travel and try to think if we can, relocate. But that was actually a time where living off of the interest, given the fact that to actually buy a house would necessitate being able to work for 20, 30 years. My grandmother tried that. It worked. She lost her feet. We lost the apartment. Oh my God. When I was trying to work on my feet, it looked like a walking satire. In fact, a very sitting satire that also tried to be vegan, that also tried to be vegetarian without hearing about veganism. Which reminds me, I would need to take my oil water soon, my iron water soon. Spatone. I like the spatone. They actually work. Um, where are they generated? Oh, in Britain. Spatone Triprio Well Spa. Spatone, I can't actually get dividends, but um, I don't know if you want to fund me like a vacay or something. um, yeah, I'm almost drinking that that avocado oil. Um, yeah, when the body has been thrown off balance and needs to rebalance itself, oils are very important. But to the point that I just almost drink that is intense. I don't know why. What would craving avocado oil be? It has CoQ10, which is balancing the nervous system. Okay, let me see that. So oblipica was missing, and I was finding myself with avocado oil. And then I got the second bottle for the body butter because of like I'm craving avocado oil in the body butter, and I have um, cocoa butter, um, plenty of goodies of essential oils, and coconut oil. I don't know why was I craving the coconut, not the coconut, but the avocado oil with the cocoa butter with my essential oils. I'm like craving that, and I don't understand why. I mean, it would make it for an edible butter if I don't use like rose in solvents or and stuff. But it's not a food type of thing. It's kind of like, why am I craving that? I will have to prepare it and see. But I do want to, if I warm some oil, then I also want to put some herbs in it. Now, there is this root of a flower that is good for, and it is an anti-inflammatory, and I kind of want to put that root in the oil. Yeah. It's me and the snakes. Remember when I saw a snake crossing the road, and I'm like, okay, it's summertime. It's summertime. Mm, 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 mm. Ew. Avocado oil. Avocado oil. This is calming. Nutrient-dense oil, pressed avocado pulp rich in monosaturated fats, oleic acid, and antioxidants. High smoke point, making it excellent for high heat cooking like searing and roasting and making body butters. Infused with some herbs. I particularly want the roots, and they're like, I have to go like, I think, a kilometer, and it's sunny. Um, and I'm exhausted. And by the way, Angelica oil, I think I also need because it's kind of like for recovery from trauma and chronic fatigue. Um, Health benefit: oleic acid, which helps reduce bad cholesterol, lower blood pressure. I already have low blood pressure, and improve heart health. Heart health is important, particularly when my teeth are probably permeating my heart. Um, and yeah, no access to trauma informed medicine is um, yeah. Um, Also aids in nutrient absorption. Cooking uses refined avocado oil is ideal for high heat cooking and quality issues. Many commercial avocado oils are adulterated with other oils or rancid. Recommended to buy from reputable brands to ensure quality. If I'm craving that, then I think it's not rancid. Really, it smells from my oils right now. What oil does it smell from? I know it's a combination of Tagetes, valerian. It's a CO2 valerian, so we do not put solvent stuff for internal consumption. Um, let's take a look at my own book because I love to return to the books. I love to return to. It's kind of like the scriptures, but without the rape. I mean, I can't say without the rape because I was targeted probably also for studying that. Oh my god. And yeah, um, so calendula, or again, avocado. Vitamins A, D, lecithin, potassium, and chlorophyll. Absorbs deep in the skin, smooths the skin, prevents aging. That's all we have about this oil here. Um, and then we have coconut oil. Coconut oil improves the brain activity and helps to improve memory. I did not know that. Um, but I was craving the avocado oil. Vitamins A, D, lecithin, potassium, and chlorophyll. Yeah. At least I understood what was my story with Angelica that is missing.